Hi there and welcome to another episode of Money Moves with Debt Rescue, where we help you move your money in the right direction. We've previously done a video about kids and finances, and this week we thought we'd take it a little bit further by talking about teens and finances. When you enter into the financial world as a young adult, there's a lot of learning curves we have to learn, and one of the biggest one probably is financial independence and financial responsibility. So we thought it's a good time to start talking about preparing teens for the financial world when they turn into adults. So whether your teen is earning some income in the form of chores, maybe babysitting, or even very entrepreneurial teens out there who've started a side hustle and earning some proper income, the reality is they've worked hard for that money, and we need to teach them how to deal with it, because pocket money or a form of income is something that obviously is very positive for them. But if they know how to deal with it going out, we're teaching them some really good financial habits. These financial goals can include anything from setting up a budget, saving for a rainy day, or planning for an item that they really want to buy and that we as parents don't necessarily always want to fund ourselves. So the sooner we teach our kids that having a social life is important and that they can spend some of their pocket money on that, it needs to form part of their total budget. In other words, if we can teach them to budget for real life expenses from a younger age, it becomes a much easier exercise once they turn into adulthood. So this all sounds incredibly serious, but the reality is, like with everything in life, the sooner something that we'd like to do becomes a habit, the easier it becomes in the long term. So if we can help our teens set up budgets, learn how to save, and to think twice about how they spend their money, the better we're helping them in the long term. So let's understand saving. Saving sounds like hard work when you're young, and let me tell you, even some adults see it that way as well. It doesn't have to be though, if you understand it. So saving works on interest, and a bank account with a high interest compounded at shorter intervals will give you back more money on your deposits. So now we're going to start talking about types of saving, and this is something you learn in high school, and this is the difference between compound and simple interest. Well, the beauty is compounded interest is what you earn when you save your money in the bank account, and it's a good thing because the more you have, the more you get. And it means the percentage of your money that is given to you for leaving your money in the bank. Yes, the bank pays you for leaving your money with them. Not all banks offer the same interest on savings though, and you need to look around to find a bank account where you can get the best savings rates. So if savings sound too grown up, let's look at savings over a longer period of time, and let's use an example. So let's say you save 100 Rand a month in a jar in your cupboard for the next 5 years. That gives you 6,000 Rand. That's a really nice amount of money. But if you keep depositing that 100 Rand into your savings account every single month, and we work on an average of a 4% interest rate per annum, and we take that over 5 years, where every month obviously you add on the extra 100 Rand, at the end you will have 6,752 Rand in total, which means you've earned 752 Rand. 752 Rand more than if you'd kept it in your cupboard. So very good idea to rather put it in a bank account. When the interest rate in the country goes up, everything might become more expensive. But if you have savings, your interest on your savings will go up too, which gives you more money. So savings now sounds a little bit better, doesn't it? Plus, the more you save, the more money you will have to accomplish more of your financial goals, like studying or buying your own home one day, or maybe it's just to buy that Xbox or PS5. So before you can start saving, you need to set yourself some goals, because why would you save if it wasn't for a specific goal? And it's important that we then start saying, how do I set goals? How do I measure them? And how do I know what I've achieved? Goal setting is actually quite simple, and you can divide it up into 3 different types of goals you can create. Firstly, you have your short-term goals. These are the things that will take you maybe 1 to 3 months with how you save. And this will be something smaller. This will be a smaller item that's not as expensive. Maybe it's a new jacket you'd like, or maybe some art supplies, or even a video game that you'd like to buy. So let's use a medium-term goal example. Getting a driver's license. So the first question we ask, is it a necessity? What is it going to cost? So you're going to need some lessons with a driving instructor. You need to book, of course, to go and pay for this lesson. And then the actual fees at the traffic department itself to pay and get your license done. How much do you need to save every month or every week to reach your goal? So in other words, how long between now and whenever the time is that you want to get your license? And lastly, can you achieve this goal with the pocket money that you have? Or do you need to ask your parents for some help to achieve your goal? Do you need to do some extra chores? Or do you need to maybe go babysit or take the dog for a walk? Just something to help make up any shortfall you might have. The magic in setting goals is that your life immediately has purpose. If you do not yet know what goals you want to set, look at things such as your driver's license, for example, which will empower you to become a fully independent adult. That's the best long-term goal of all, of course. So being independent gives you confidence and allows you freedom to make your own decisions about your life. What a brilliant goal. So the future can seem scary. There's a lot of planning that needs to be done. And as a young adult, you don't necessarily want to already be thinking about what my life is going to be when I grow up and I'm in my 20s and my 30s. And the reality is most adults didn't know what they wanted to do when they were in their teens or probably in their late 20s themselves. But the sooner you start planning and the sooner you start preparing for adulthood by looking at things right now, things that are of interest, that'll help you a lot with your goal setting for your future. There's a lot you can do as a young adult. First of them is to enroll for courses. A lot of them are online and free, where you can start experimenting with different ideas and concepts of things you think you may like. Sometimes you're going to find that what you thought was interesting didn't end up being that. And other times you'd go, you didn't even know that thing existed. This is really interesting. Maybe this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. The reality is the more skills you have, the more education you have, the more you add value to yourself, and obviously this translates directly into higher salaries in the future. So investing in your education and expanding your skill sets is definitely an advantage to yourself. So when you start setting these goals, whether it is for studying or just something you would really like to buy yourself in the future, a nice way to do this is a dream board. Your dream board is just a visual representation of whatever it is that you like to achieve. So you can start small with 1 or 2 pictures or 1 or 2 writings of what it is that you want and expand on this as time goes by, as you think of more things, as you learn more and as you find out more. Through this dream board, you can find out what it is you really like and obviously also eliminate the things that you don't find of interest anymore. All of this at the end of the day is part of your goal setting. The world's not an easy place, and adulting is not always as simple as we thought it would be. But the reality is, with some clever planning and some well thought through ideas when you're young, thinking about what you want to do, researching it, and getting those future plans in place now will definitely help you in the long run as you enter into adulthood. And this includes finances. The sooner you learn how to deal with your finances, how to plan your finances, and how to understand the difference between things like good debt and bad debt, or a want and a need, the better you're prepared for your adulthood. And these things, like we said, they become habits, they become second nature, and it just becomes part of who you are to make smart, wise decisions as you go into adulthood. We hope you've enjoyed the content of today's video and that it helps you on your path to financial freedom as a young person, and how to do the simple things like budgeting and how to also plan for your financial future. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, please subscribe to our channel, and leave us comments in the box below so that we know what kind of content you'd like to see us present to you in the future.